For years, gardeners have been told the same story. Every spring, buy compost, mix fertilizers, add soil amendments, and start again the next year. It becomes a ritual, almost like a rule carved in stone. Yet after all that effort, all that spending, the soil still fades. The ground that once looked rich and dark turns pale and tired. You pour your care into it, feed it, water it, and somehow, it still hungers. The next season begins, and the cycle repeats: bags, tools, and frustration. But what if that cycle isn't necessary at all? What if the earth already knows how to restore itself, quietly, naturally, without our constant interference? That realization begins when you stop looking at soil as something broken that needs fixing and start seeing it as something living, something that breathes, eats, grows, and changes. Soil isn't dirt. It's a community, a universe beneath our feet filled with tiny lives working together in silence. Every inch holds roots, fungi, bacteria, and insects collaborating in balance. But when we dump bag after bag of compost, we interrupt that natural rhythm. We feed it fast food instead of nourishment, and before long, the soil forgets how to care for itself. It becomes dependent, not alive. Nature, however, has never needed a gardener's hand. No one adds compost in the forest, yet the ground stays soft, dark, and fertile. Leaves fall, roots decay, rain washes through, and life continues effortlessly. The secret isn't found in what we add, but in what we grow. Certain plants have mastered the art of soil building. They don't just survive in the earth, they heal it. They pull up minerals from deep layers, feed the microorganisms, and create a living cycle of renewal. They are perennial soil builders, plants that quietly turn barren ground into living richness, year after year. Comfrey is one of the finest examples. At first, it may seem humble, but beneath its lush leaves lies power. Its roots dive deep, 4, sometimes 5 feet into the earth, reaching minerals untouched by ordinary crops. Calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium rise through those roots and settle in the leaves. When the leaves fall, they return those nutrients to the soil, creating a perfect circle of giving. Chop them down a few times each season, scatter them beneath fruit trees or vegetable beds, and they'll slowly melt into the earth, enriching everything they touch. The soil becomes darker, the scent earthier, and the plants around it stronger. You'll notice it one morning. The difference isn't loud or sudden, but unmistakable. Life is returning. Then there's yarrow, delicate to the eye but fierce beneath the surface. Its roots move like threads, weaving through compacted soil, loosening what's hard and breathing air back into the ground. Each root acts like a tiny architect, building tunnels that invite worms, water, and life to move freely again. Above ground, its flowers summon pollinators, filling the air with bees, butterflies, and beneficial insects. Yarrow doesn't just repair the soil, it builds an ecosystem. It forms partnerships with fungi that help roots share nutrients, like an underground web of communication that keeps your garden resilient. You plant it once, and it gives back endlessly. And then there's clover, gentle, green, often overlooked. But what it does beneath the surface is pure magic. Clover captures nitrogen from the air and stores it in its roots, turning it into plant food that lasts. It becomes a living fertilizer factory, feeding everything nearby without needing a single chemical. Spread it between your garden beds, along paths, or under fruit trees, and you'll watch as it protects the soil from erosion, keeps it moist, and welcomes pollinators. It's simple, soft, and powerful, a quiet guardian of fertility. When comfrey, yarrow, and clover work together, the transformation feels almost miraculous. They form a silent partnership. Comfrey digs deep for minerals, yarrow shapes the soil and invites balance, and clover feeds it with nitrogen and moisture. Your garden becomes something different, a living system that thrives without constant effort. You'll water less, buy less, and yet watch everything flourish more than before. The soil stays soft, rich, and full of life. Every step you take feels springy, every root stronger, every bloom brighter. Beyond these three, there are other allies hidden in plain sight, plants like lupine, alfalfa, chicory, even the humble dandelion. Each plays a role in this underground orchestra. Lupine loosens heavy soil and adds nitrogen naturally. Alfalfa dives deep, creating pathways for water and air, while chicory drills through tough clay, bringing calcium and zinc to the surface. Dandelions, often cursed as weeds, are healers too. Their roots mine minerals and return them to the topsoil. Even the Siberian pea shrub adds nitrogen while giving birds shelter and song. These plants prove that nature already has every tool we need. We just have to let it work. The magic lies in how you weave them into your garden. Around fruit trees, a ring of comfrey turns fallen leaves into living mulch. Between vegetable rows, yarrow forms natural corridors for pollinators and soil builders. Clover fills every bare patch, shielding the earth from the sun's harshness and locking in moisture. And at the borders, lupine or chicory bring color while breaking up dense ground. You don't need to redesign everything. Just plant thoughtfully and watch as the system balances itself. If you could see beneath the surface, it would take your breath away. Networks of roots twist and connect, fungi spread their white threads through the darkness, and earthworms tunnel through the soft soil, leaving behind trails of nourishment. Every fallen leaf becomes food, every dying root becomes life for something new. The soil breathes again, holding water when it rains, releasing it gently when it's dry. Disease fades, pests lose their grip, and strength returns to every growing thing. This is living soil, dark, fragrant, alive. But all of this takes patience. In the first year, you may not notice much. The comfrey stays small, the yarrow grows slowly, and the clover spreads quietly. Yet beneath your feet, something extraordinary is happening. Roots are reaching deep, microbes are returning, and the ground is beginning to wake. By the second season, the change is undeniable. The soil darkens, the scent deepens, and when you lift a handful, it crumbles softly in your palm. Worms wriggle through it, and your plants stand taller. You realize you're adding less, watering less, and worrying less. The earth has remembered how to care for itself. This shift isn't just physical, it's philosophical. When you stop trying to control your garden and start partnering with it, everything changes. Gardening stops being a battle and becomes a conversation. You're no longer forcing growth, you're guiding it. You stop counting bags of compost and start noticing the songs of bees, the glimmer of worms after rain, the quiet hum of balance returning. The garden begins to feel alive again, and so do you. For many gardeners, especially those who've tended the earth for decades, this way of gardening carries a deeper meaning. It's not only about healthier plants or fewer chores. It's about legacy. The soil you heal today will feed life long after you're gone. A single comfrey plant can last for generations, a patch of clover can reseed itself forever, and yarrow will spread gently, filling the garden with blooms for years to come. The choices you make now, planting life that gives back, will shape the earth for those who follow. One day, someone will walk through your garden, run their hands through that soft, dark soil, and feel gratitude for the unseen work you did. Because the truth is simple yet profound, the richest compost isn't something you buy. It's something you grow. It's built in silence, season after season, by the plants you choose and the patience you offer. Nature never needed our constant input, it only needed our understanding. When we let it lead, the garden rewards us with abundance that feels effortless. So, stop buying compost. Stop chasing fertilizers. Start planting the soil builders that do the work for you. Trust in the quiet wisdom beneath your feet. Watch as your garden transforms, richer soil, fewer pests, more blooms, deeper peace. The earth knows what to do. It's been building life long before we ever stepped into the garden. All it asks is that we step back, listen, and let it breathe again. And in that moment, when your garden begins to thrive without your struggle, you'll understand something extraordinary. Abundance doesn't come from how much you add, it comes from how deeply you trust the rhythm of life itself.